RoboCop was released in 1987, years before I was born, so I know practically nothing about it, other than what I found online about the movies and now from this game. Back in its heyday, it was a cult classic for its brutal satire and striking blend of science fiction and action. Set in a dystopian near-future Detroit plagued by crime, poverty, and corporate corruption, the film imagines a world where a megacorporation called Omni-Consumer Products, or OCP, has taken control of the city's police force, basically controlling everything within the city. And our main man, Alex Murphy, is a police officer who was violently murdered by a gang during a routine patrol. But his remains are claimed by OCP, who use his body as the foundation for their experimental cyborg law enforcement program, transforming him into RoboCop. Now, again, I didn't grow up in the 80s, but from what I gathered, this movie had immense cultural significance. A lot of the problems depicted in that movie are a different flavor of still some of the same stuff going on today in 2025. Growing anxieties about rising crime rates, corporate overreach, and the loss of personal identity in a world increasingly shaped by technology. Almost like the X-Men comics, where those were used to bring awareness on social issues of that time. RoboCop had a mix of extreme violence, dark humor, and social commentary that made it both a provocative and wildly entertaining snapshot of 1980s fears. If you are a true and original RoboCop fan, maybe you can tell me if the game looks or has that same resonance of the source material. But today, we're going to walk through this story together, including the DLC that just came out, and I think I enjoyed that over the base game. Remember, this is a story explained, not a lore video. There is a difference. With me, you're getting answers and a journey. If you enjoy the content, hitting the like button encourages me to keep making more for you. But since you're still here, you're coming with me. Welcome to
RoboCop, Rogue City.
Detroit, overrun by crime and corporation. The chairman of OCP, known as the Old Man, says that crime is a cancer that needs to be cut out. However, that is when the news reporter would talk about new crime waves happening in the city as a result of gangs trying to get the attention of an unknown man, someone who wants to do business in town. Right on cue, that is when he's shoved aside by Soot, a gang leader who directly addresses this new guy in town, saying that his gang, the Torchheads, are the #1 supplier of an extremely potent and highly addictive drug called Nuke. Soot says he wants to offer his services, as he also has the manpower to make anything happen in the city. For example, taking over a news station while live and injecting the crap out of a cop with drugs, on top of holding people hostage.
You've got the money, we've got the power. So let's talk.
Now, their plans would have gone smoothly, except where there's crime, there's a punisher, a judge, jury, and executioner. RoboCop pulls up to the scene looking extra clean, ready to serve justice.
Sorry, dude! The police want us to release the hostages! So no hard feelings!
Hey! You can't go in yet! We need to wait for the reinforcements!
Reinforcements have arrived.
I've got a feeling that RoboCop is programmed with a bunch of one-liners ready for his use at any given moment. Keeping it pushing, Anne Lewis, his partner, can't join him because of the blazes blocking the entrance, so she sends RoboCop ahead while she finds an alternate route. Waddling through the flames and fires, Alex Murphy prepares to extinguish the Torchheads' flames.
Drop it, scum.
I gotta say, I enjoyed walking around like a tank, blasting people's heads, picking up guys and throwing them around. It reminded me of good old Xbox days where it was just straightforward, mow the enemy down style of gameplay. I mean, it was a real power fantasy. Hundreds of bullets clanking off my armor, tossing baddies scores of feet away, punching their craniums in. Nice and easy fun.
They're holding everyone in the studio. It's on the 30th floor.
Our friends in blue finally decided to join our glamorous show. I'm afraid you're too late for my autograph.
Chopper's ready.
I've gotta go, but the party goes on. Guys, make sure you provide all our guests with a decent amount of amusement, so don't skimp on the nuke. See ya.
What a freaking psycho. We need to be quick before they kill anyone else. I know that, little Murphy. You saw something, didn't you?
We are here to enforce the law, Lucas. Let us stay focused.
Right. Just keep in mind that I'm here if you need me, partner.
Slime bags detected.
After hurling PC monitors and throwing a couple of them out of the building, RoboCop would soon walk into a trap. The explosion and the fall caused him to start malfunctioning. The memories of his past, his son, and his wife start to echo in his mind. I love my wife, and if I was turned into a cyborg and started having some form of cyberpsychosis, I'd want to hear her voice too. But eventually RoboCop would reach the door to the newsroom where the hostages were. After cleaning up those scum stains, he assesses the area, except one of the thugs got away and now has a woman with some iron to her dome. So RoboCop should be able to use bullet time and cream the guy before he can harm her, right?
You work so hard, honey. Why don't you take some leave? We all could use a little break from this reality, don't you think?
Wakey, wakey! I'm talking to you, Shiny! Stand back from that door, or I'll shoot her! I swear to nuke!
I don't know what I would do if I ever lost you.
You got 3 seconds! 3!
Our family is the only thing I need to be happy.
2! Are you fucking deaf?
Promise me, we will stay like this forever.
1! Last chance, weirdo!
I love you so much, Amos.
You okay there, Murphy?
What does it want? Get it away from me!
I am sorry.
Back at the precinct, our work associates congratulate us on our heroism. But that is when Max Becker, the quintessential prick, tells us to stop circle jerking to bring up a new concern. The journalist from the news station released the footage of RoboCop's glitch, raising concerns about his effectiveness, despite us absolutely demolishing an entire army and protecting the innocent.
Now quiet!
Bro, nobody was saying anything. Oh, he wanted us to pay extra attention because now he's on screen. After he turns off the TV, he says he wants to snap her neck. Big man. But, moving on, he says that the old man, CEO of OCP, I don't know why they call him the old man, wants RoboCop inspected to ensure that this doesn't happen again.
That's a nasty scar. I'd like to see the other guy. Am I right?
You do not. Trust me.
Don't mind me. I'll just get this off.
So, here's the deal, Robo. The old man is not happy with your performance. Instead of sending you to the scrapyard as I suggested, he wants to fix you. Hey, pretty boy. You sure know how to make an impression on the ladies.
Doesn't it hurt him?
Hurt? Lady, he's a machine. He's legally dead. We can do whatever we want with him.
No, madam. It does not hurt me physically.
Becker says they're going to install a monitoring chip to keep track of what's going on with him. After running tests, the nerd also asks Robo what his prime directives are, which are to
serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
Advancing forward and into the briefing room, Sergeant Reed tasks the force with finding the mysterious man that all the gangs are trying to garner attention from. The police need to get to him before the criminals do. So, with that, we roll out and head into the city to check out an arcade. The owner of this arcade is an associate of Soot, the Torchhead's leader. Now at first, he plays dumb, but, being very convincing, he tells Robo to check out this old abandoned building. Once there, he delivers divine machine justice and even shoots a guy in the dick. Of course, Robo doesn't find Soot, but he does find Pickles, a guy who knows where Soot is going to be. He says that he's planning to meet with the new guy tonight, also mentioning that Soot is going to be having a concert, because even criminals can have hobbies. Yeah, if you played this game or ever do, that song is going to be stuck in your head for a bit. Soot leaves to wet his throat. So after we brutalize more of his men, we find him in his room. Unfortunately, he doesn't tell us anything about the new guy, as he just isn't afraid.
I'm pumped up with nuke like a freaking power plant!
Then get ready for a meltdown.
Now, he might not be afraid of RoboCop, but fortunately for us, he cares about his music. So we smash his expensive guitars and he caves. But the thing is, we wouldn't have to look any further for the new guy, because he came to us. He is right outside and has Lewis hostage. Manhandling Soot, we begin walking outside. However, something's wrong, because RoboCop starts to malfunction again for some reason. When he hallucinates walking down the halls, Soot would even ask him why he stopped, only for Robo to realize that he's been standing still this whole time.
What are we stopping for? Huh? Is your battery drained or something?
What's causing him to glitch like this? Hopefully that new monitoring chip that he had installed can narrow down the cause of the issue. As he continues, he would even see some of his fellow officers hanging on meat hooks, only to realize they were just pigs. Once outside, we meet the new guy, who has Lewis at gunpoint. Letting Soot off, he starts blabbering, and our new villain looks peeved by this, as he takes out his lighter.
I assume you've seen our little TV spot. Short and sweet. You know the first rule of show business and drug dealing, right? Leave them wanting more. That's lighter you got there.
Murphy?
Something wrong, cop.
Hey, so, I think it's time to get back to business.
You fucking idiot. Your stupid stunt put a spotlight on me. Oh, you want to talk business? Here's a free lesson. You never, ever fuck with the money. I don't think so.
Murphy, what's happening?
Now that we've got that out of the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Wendell Antonowski. I believe you've met my brother before. My brother really did a number on you, didn't he? But thanks to him, you've been given this great opportunity.
What the fuck are you doing to him?
There are people who would do anything to be in your position, to have your abilities, and yet you attach yourself to something that is the weakest in you, to the part that's still human. Imagine the pristine life you could lead without the things that limit you.
Murphy, don't let him get inside your head!
Like her. No attachments, no leverage. I admit, when I first heard that you were the reason my idiot brother was dead, I was furious. But then I got to thinking, why would I let anyone have such power over me? So I let it go. And now, I'm here to help you do the same. This is not an act of revenge. This is a gift.
Fuck you, scumbag!
Lewis!
When RoboCop wakes up back in the precinct, Becker tells him that Lewis is in the hospital and Antonowski ran off. But why didn't he kill Murphy when he had the chance? Does he have other plans for him? After some detective work, we learn that he has ties with the Street Vulture gang, so RoboCop sets out to look for their gang leader, Spike, to tactically acquire information on Wendell Antonowski's whereabouts. Narrowing in on his location with the help of the police reinforcements and this Ed-209, RoboCop storms the Street Vulture's turf and soon opens the door to find Spike. But that's when something strange happens with Ed.
down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
The situation is under control.
You now have 15 seconds to comply.
Stand back.
I'll do one better, cop. I'm out of here.
You now have 5 seconds to comply. 4,
Said
3,
everything is under control.
1.
Ed,
I have
stand
now
there.
authorized to use physical force.
After the cop gets peppered, Murphy takes out his gun and a fight between the cyborg and the machine ensues. But after a while of shooting and throwing things at this bullet sponge, it finally falls. Robo would spin his gun around and put it away. But since Spike escaped, we have no idea where to find him or Antonowski. But luckily, we don't have to work too hard to find them, as the gang is currently causing havoc at the OCP bank, broadcasting their location. So, arriving there and teaming up with SWAT, they enter the bank to take care of the gang.
With this buggy brain of yours, you think you still remember how to put the heat on them scumbags?
I prefer to serve justice cold.
Allowing SWAT to do most of the work, RoboCop walks through the barrage of bullets all the way to the vault, disarming a bomb and thwarting the Street Vulture's efforts to steal the OCP's money. With that, Robo chases the remaining gang members all the way back through a tunnel they dug up to get into the bank. Upon clearing out the enemies here, Robo talks to Spike over the radio, who's escaped yet again, stating that Wendell never paid them, so they had no reason to keep fighting. But Robo isn't just going to let them off the hook. However, back at the precinct, Murphy is informed that the old man wants to meet with him.
Oh, it's good to see you, my boy. Leave us. I want to talk to him in private. You have to excuse me for not getting up. I'm in a rather unfortunate state.
The old man is sick, but wanted to see how Robo was doing, knowing about his malfunctions. He talks about replacing the old with the new and rebuilding Delta City. But he also says that as a reward for saving the OCP bank, he's going to get Becker, who works under him, to get new equipment for the precinct. That should boost morale for the boys in blue. Immediately after, Robo follows some words on the street to find Spike, but he's having a party with some torchheads. I guess they're back in since the Vultures are out, and Sanowski's hiring anybody. After throwing their bodies into one another, we learn that he's hiding in an abandoned mall. When RoboCop gets there, he finds that reporter recording Wendell in the parking lot. They're waiting to meet somebody, but who is this secret meeting with? The thought is derailed as when Antonowski takes out his lighter, something causes RoboCop pain, giving away his position.
You better go, Miss Ortiz. It seems there will be trouble.
At first it seemed like Murphy had everything under control, but then they hit him with a car, causing severe damage, so he begins to glitch and hallucinate, hearing his wife and son calling for him to join them. Then Murphy walks through this haunted hall as his son pleads for him not to leave him alone, disturbing the part of Alex that was still human. But then, to make it even worse, he starts imagining his son terrified of what he has become, how he no longer looks human, but a machine instead, an abomination. Soon he sees how the other cops don't even consider him to be part of their team. He's just a metal monster, so they shoot him. But when he opens his eyes, he's back in his old house. The memory feels almost too good to leave, but we continue. However, RoboCop would come face to face with himself. Alex tells him he's here for his badge, telling RoboCop that even though he might think that he's a part of him, they are separate beings and that RoboCop will never be human, never be Alex Murphy. Alex wants to rest, but Robo won't let him. So Alex takes out his gun to shoot him in the face, but Robo fires first, and then it goes black. But RoboCop doesn't rest. He opens his eyes and finds himself before Wendell.
Cops will be here any—
Wendell Antonowski,
Haven't you had enough yet?
you are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Relax. I'm not your enemy. If I were, you would have already—
You have the right to an attorney.
I wanted to help you. Release you from the burden of your past life, of your memories. But you don't want to lose them, right? Now I get it.
Anything you say may be used against you.
I can give you back those memories. All of them. We should help each other. We have have the same boss!
Police!
God damn it, you again?
People need to see this.
Cuff him. He is a cop killer.
Hands behind your back!
Can you hand me my lighter? It's a family heirloom. I wouldn't want to lose it.
You mean this trinket? It'll be safer in the prison depository. You'll pick it up yourself in, I don't know, 150 years?
Plenty of time for rehabilitation.
Despite apprehending Wendell, there was still an accomplice and a rat amongst their ranks. Somebody in the police department working with Antonowski. Probably the other party that was going to meet him in the parking lot. Somebody in OCP has been sabotaging the police this whole time, and we need to find out who. The signs were already there, and they all point to Becker, who conveniently wants to meet RoboCop in private. But before going to see him, we see our partner in the hospital who also suspected it was Becker, but she tells us how the old man is in the hospital right now because he suffered from a heart attack. Conversating with him, he confirms Becker is the Weasel and that he wants to destroy RoboCop and the old man's company. He tells Robo to be careful of him and to protect OCP's reputation and legacy. RoboCop doesn't care about those things though. He just needs to bring Becker in for justice. So as requested, he meets him at an abandoned warehouse where he spouts about the future of law enforcement, revealing that he's been creating an army of robots, all of RoboCop's capabilities but infinitely more obedient. Now we know where the funding's been going. After smashing all of those knockoffs to bits, we burst into Becker's office to find that this entire thing was supposed to be a demonstration for the mayor. Well, a candidate for mayor. Becker wanted to show him his progress with the robot project that he's been working on, only to have the mayor be more impressed with how RoboCop performed. Ultimately, because we don't have evidence that he is the mole, and we didn't catch him in the act of anything, we can't apprehend him for anything.
Now that the milk is spilled, as hard as it is to believe, Becker is not that guy.
Yeah, but he's still a prick.
Sure is, but there's still a mole that we need to find.
It's gotta be the rookie.
I'm sitting right here.
So?
We start by asking the source.
What are you suggesting?
I pay Wendell a visit in jail.
Good thinking. You can try to squeeze a confession out of him.
If I get my hands on him, I will squeeze more than just a confession.
So we head to the prison where Wendell is locked up. For a bit, Antonowski doesn't answer any direct questions, choosing instead to ignore and disregard. But then he would offer Alex Murphy his old life back, a way to see and be with his family once again, through a new OCP project called Afterlife. When Robo asks for details, the facility's alarms would begin to blare, meaning Wendell walks away again. There is a prison riot raging, and the guards are being overpowered, but luckily, Metal Man is here. Heading in to quell the prisoners' rampage, we hear over the speakers that there are actually other people here who caused this riot in order to break Antonowski out of prison. Beating down criminals and tossing Wendell's private army around, Wendell was close to catching Antonowski.
Can't you get it through that thick skull of yours? You're supposed to stay away from my business if you want to get your past life back. How about we save part of that life right now? I sent some guns to the hospital to rectify my mistake and finish the job with your friend Lewis. But it was before we talked. I would have called off the hit, but I had to take care of you and your fellow guards. So, I guess it's over to you.
But even though the hospital was scattered with bodies, we didn't have to worry much about our partner in crime. She was fine, so we take her back to the precinct to inform everybody about the Afterlife project. But who is an OCP working with Wendell, and what exactly is the Afterlife project? Lewis would suggest that the old man, the CEO himself, is the one pulling the strings, but Becker would state that even if he is the mole, even if he is working with Antonowski, he's untouchable. And he was already lying on his deathbed. With that, Becker leaves, talking about an expo he's going to be speaking at, leaving us to do some detective work. After a while, we find one of the locations of Antonowski's new group of mercenaries. They were operating underground in the sewers, so after infiltrating and shooting more guys in the dick, we discovered two new things: that RoboCop has been being monitored, and that OCP has been using the data they collected from him for their research. But also, we find evidence that the old man signed Wendell's contract proving their affiliation. This enables us to get a warrant for the old man's arrest. So, we head to OCP headquarters where we find out what Afterlife is.
Do not be amazed when a man grows rich, for when he dies, he takes nothing with him. Until now. Afterlife, OCP's answer to death itself. As a frontrunner in human-machine hybrids, OCP is focused on proving that death is no longer the end. With a number of successful prototypes, our team continues to work tirelessly to ensure Afterlife is more stable than any of our previous cybernetic achievements. We've come a long way since OCP's first cyborg.
Is this what you wanted to see?
To now.
Hi, I'm Eve, and I've died, but that's not stopping me. With the newest development in cyborg research, OCP was able to give me another chance. And now I'm back to enjoying my life. Or should I say, afterlife? Because at OCP, the goal is no longer to live, but to thrive after death. And since our friends in the government are fighting for human rights for all people that were once pronounced dead, my life will return to what it was in no time.
Under my legislation, RoboCop and all future cyborgs will be granted human rights. They'll be able to live, vote, and run their businesses just like the rest of us. Vote Mills, vote RoboCop.
Afterlife. Eternity. Today.
I guess OCP and the old man were trying to find a way to transcend the human form and obtain immortality. That always goes well. But Robo heads to the old man's office only to find Becker in the CEO chair instead. The old man croaked and died, leaving Becker as acting CEO, who looks down on the Afterlife program and plans to put a stop to what he deems an unnecessary company expense. But he also says that he's going to fire the city police and replace everyone with his robots. Naturally, RoboCop protests, but ultimately has to listen to him. Chain of command, I guess. So Becker tells him to go to the Arms Expo to be on stage when he presents his new Robo police force. Arriving there, we see a monster of a machine that just oozes murderous intent just by the looks of it. I hope we don't have to fight that thing.
We have to be on the lookout for Antonowski.
Do you ever just stop? We won, so smile. Okay, don't smile. Creeping me out.
So Becker gives his speech and presents his droids, but things don't go so smoothly, as Becker's bot would start to malfunction, raising its gun at him and preparing to kill. Luckily, RoboCop shoots it first and then warns everybody that more will come, and right on cue, all of Becker's bots become lethal. So Murphy has to destroy all of them and protect the citizens. After a long and arduous battle, Wendell walks in above them, revealing that he was behind everything. He stole Becker's remote and is now in control of all of the droids. Initially, he wanted to control RoboCop, but when that didn't work, the Becker bots were the next best thing. However, Antonowski also reveals why he didn't just kill RoboCop the multiple times that he had the chance to.
Now that the old man doesn't need you, I don't need you. Keeping you alive this long was a mistake. Let me erase that mistake. Sorry, I won't be staying to witness this. I need to start packing up the toys. Take care of him.
After walking past droids and mercenaries alike, the malfunctions RoboCop were having would start to take its toll on him, causing him to black out. When he opens his eyes, he's hanging on a hook before Wendell and the droids. Antonowski drops a bomb on Murphy, saying that the monitoring chip OCP implanted into him in the beginning was actually how he was able to make sure RoboCop could never touch him, why Robo would glitch and hallucinate. The lighter was the device that would incapacitate him whenever Wendell felt like there would be trouble. Antonowski, now feeling like he's won, walks away, setting his eyes towards taking over Detroit, leaving RoboCop hanging until he blacks out. But when he opens his eyes, he's back amongst friends at the precinct, and after they remove the chip disturbing RoboCop, they turn on the news to see that Wendell actually did it. He's taken over Detroit by causing anarchy throughout the city. His goal? To ravage it to the ground, where from the rubbles, he would take over and build a new city upon it, in his vision. Highly ambitious and almost unbelievable because of how impractical it seems and how much of a logistical nightmare it would be to execute. Not to mention, with RoboCop back on the scene, Antonowski's dreams are going to stay just that way.
Alex Murphy. You didn't even give me enough time to miss you. How'd you like my new empire? The most free society there is, where everyone is equal, as long as they have the money.
A city full of thieves, drug dealers, and murderers. Is this what you hoped for?
The old man's dead. There's no one stopping me from ending you.
There is also no one left to finance you. Becker shut down Afterlife.
Is that true?
I think we can get back to that at a later time. Now, where's my lighter? Oh, there it is. After the incident at the mall, I had a duplicate made. That's neither here nor there. Goodbye, RoboCop!
Smoking kills.
So, you finally took care of that, huh? We'll just have to do this the old-fashioned way. Gentlemen, I'll leave you to your work.
Target acquired.
So Wendell sets his mercenary army upon Murphy, but he chops them all down and eventually gets to the top of the unfinished high-rise, where we would see the mercenaries finally get sick of not being paid. Antonowski hired them and sent them to the slaughter, but still hasn't paid a single dime. I don't know how Wendell's been getting away with paying nobody, but getting everybody to do everything that he wants. And I'm surprised that the mercenaries stayed this long, but they probably saw that even 1,000 men couldn't stop RoboCop.
Surrender, or there will be trouble.
I still have an army that will fight no matter what. So, RoboCop, prepare to meet your demise!
Now there is trouble.
This isn't over!
Antonowski would run for his life, begging and doing anything, saying anything to try and get RoboCop to stop, talking about how OCP was the true monster behind everything. How Wendell Antonowski wasn't even his real name, just the name that the company gave to him. How they knew they could tamper with RoboCop by triggering his emotions. Wendell would even offer to work with RoboCop to get revenge, but those were empty promises. Desperate, despite seeing RoboCop tank tens of thousands of bullets and explosions, he tries to make a run for a gun.
I am only human.
Then why don't you die like one?
However, that still isn't the end of everything, because RoboCop would receive news of an unidentified creature at the OCP headquarters, a monster wreaking havoc. Of course, RoboCop runs straight towards the sounds of chaos, walking past blood and bodies to find the creature itself.
What do you want from me?
RoboCop! My number one guy! There seems to be a misunderstanding.
RoboCop, I wanted to leave you a message before I undergo this procedure. It has been a long and laborious process, but it has given me the opportunity to observe you closely.
The old man! That you? I didn't know! I didn't mean to!
Only now do I truly understand what others see in you. I realize why they cheer you on, root for you. And it is because they can look past your metal exterior and see that somehow you haven't lost your humanity. That puts my mind at ease. You made me realize that I do not have to fear what is about to happen. I can remain human, as you have. Selfless and devoted to something bigger than myself. Uncorruptible. And that is what I always strive to be, Doc Murphy. I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for us.
You sold the city's future. That leaves one question. Scrapyard or prison, creep?
Murphy, what the hell was that?
Just an old friend.
The old man in the afterlife and RoboCop fought for a long time, and would eventually drop all the way from the top of the OCP building and down into the parking lot. They would fight there for an even longer time, but eventually the old man would run into the lobby, RoboCop with his damaged armor in pursuit. The battle shook the entire building, and if this went on any longer, it would collapse on both of them. However, that's when a bridge would crumble and come crashing down on the old man. RoboCop would look down on him, deciding if he should kill him or leave him to die. But crime never sleeps, so when RoboCop heads back to the precinct about 6 months later, he discovers it's in ruins and many of his fellow officers were killed. And seeing this one cop iced out, it makes me think that Mr. Freeze himself came through. However, this is in Gotham, and instead of Batman, whoever this villain is, he's getting Iron Man instead. RoboCop would find Sergeant Reed injured but still alive. He said there was an invasion, but that they took RoboCop's chair as well. Once outside, Reed explains that it was the mercenaries behind all of this. Continuing the conversation, they talk about how hypothetically, using the hardware from RoboCop's chair, somebody could engineer something that could hijack OCP tech. It's also revealed that there was also an OCP break-in where data and components were stolen. However, this is all still a theory, and for all of this to even happen, these mercenaries would need a huge energy source. But that still leaves the question, who is spearheading this operation, and why? Looks like RoboCop has some unfinished business to take care of with those mercenaries. Taking in all of this information and knowing that a place called the Omni-Tower has an immense power source, RoboCop starts his search there.
Excuse me, but I am not used to talking with an individual using such a tone, sir. Are you a resident or willing to accommodate?
OCP Crime Prevention Unit 001 conducting investigation. Give me the data I need.
A police officer with programming that allows for such behavior. Not to mention the fact that Omni-Tower is outside police jurisdiction.
I will not ask again.
This data is classified. I suggest returning with the appropriate clearance and an updated Manners database.
Manners can wait.
Room room where a man named Cassius Graves addresses RoboCop by his last name, Murphy. RoboCop tells him to surrender and hand over the OCP hijacker. But then he asks RoboCop if he remembers him. Cassius then monologues about how he is a necessity in this world, and that he will become what RoboCop couldn't. Putting on a gold watch, he asks Murphy to remember who he was, and that is when we're thrusted back several years to a time when Alex Murphy was just Alex Murphy. So he's shooting the shit with his crew. They're talking about Fia and her father's broken wristwatch, before Cassius brings up how locking criminals up is ineffective and simply isn't enough. You lock them up, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't deter further crime, and when the incarcerated get released eventually, they're back on the streets still committing those crimes. And it is the law-abiding citizens who suffer.
What about those who keep getting back on the streets? If we don't change things, it's only a matter of time before one of us gets a bullet. You want to get a bullet?
But that's when the dispatcher calls them to get to work, and Graves drops the well-known phrase, "Si vis pacem para bellum." This gives us insight into his frame of thinking, how he sees the world and why, but more importantly, what his goals for the future might become, and what he's willing to do to accomplish them. Responding to the call,
Central, Unit 143 is joining the assignment.
They arrive at the reported warehouse. Jumping around because now I can jump, we search for a way in and try to find the criminal activity. Once inside, they find themselves in a firefight. During the pursuit, something would happen, changing and solidifying something within Graves. When Fia, his partner, was going in for a breach, it was rigged and exploded as soon as she kicked it in. As a consequence, she died. But not before giving her wristwatch to Graves, asking him to fix it. This triggers what's been boiling inside of Cassius for a while now, as what he was warning everyone about finally happened. So he rages forward, seeking revenge. Now, as much as any of us would like to have these guys dead, Alex remains rooted in law, trying to discourage Graves from passing a point of no return. But the crook makes it so hard. He keeps talking, rage baiting, egging him on, and it's working. Graves really wants to put a bullet in his head, but Murphy remains pragmatic and stops him, but also tells the criminal to shut up. Of course, he would keep pushing and poking the bear, even talking about his wife. You never talk bad about another man's wife. But when he follows up about Graves's recently deceased partner...
Is your wife also a looker?
Shut the f*** up or I blow your head off!
Easy, Cass. We've got them. Whatever you do, it won't bring her back.
I'm fine. I'll make her scream like your blue...
The only thing I did then was to comply with Fia's request. So tell me, Murphy. After everything that's happened to you, do you really think I did anything wrong?
Cassius and Alex have opposing views on how to deal with the scum of the earth. Where Murphy stands on society's justice and legal system, Graves stands on what he believes, and probably, maybe realistically a lot of people believe, is true justice. To kill the criminals. However, of course, that walks the fine line that separates the good from the bad guys. Although even that morality is a societal construct. But just like the sheriff from Red Dead Redemption 2 says, you don't send saints to catch sinners. What do you guys think? Personally, I understand where Graves is coming from, but it's not that simple, and it runs into the risk of anyone becoming their own judge, jury, and executioner. Moving on, Graves says he's after Miranda, and luckily she informs RoboCop where she is. However, by the time we get to her, it's too late, as she's already been caught. Miranda tries to apologize to Robo, saying that she didn't have a choice, but Murphy addresses Graves, telling him to let her go and to hand over the OCP hijacker. But this is where Graves would start explaining to Robo that he has been a key part in Miranda's plan this whole time. Switching to her perspective to understand what her plan is, why she does what she does, and how she ended up working with Graves, we go back in time. When Miranda was younger, she was out walking alone late at night, which is very dangerous for anybody, especially women. Unfortunately, she was stalked, chased, assaulted, and probably even more was done to her by some evil men. But what's worse is that they scarred her face, so that she would never forget the trauma that they inflicted on her. Because of this, Miranda would come up with a plan in response to the city's crimes. But this is where Cassius would come in. She would need to present her ideas to him and convince Cassius of the value her expertise in science and technology could provide. During her meeting with Graves, he surprises her by quoting, in fact correcting, her line from the presentation speech that she had prepared. He already knows everything that she's got in her plan. He likes it. But Miranda is thrown off when he opens the curtains to show that he has the two men who hurt her. They're tied to chairs, and if Miranda wants to prove to Cassius that she's more than just words, that she's willing to commit to cutting out the rotten from society, she needs to push the button. Miranda does not hesitate. She executes her assaulters and solidifies her partnership with Graves. Returning to the present, there's no doubt the three of them have the same goal, but they can't agree on how to reach said goal. Whereas Robo and Miranda aren't willing to be like Thanos and do the hard thing for the greater good, Cassius can commit. He can cross lines and go the distance so that others can live peacefully. Graves would then try to shoot RoboCop with a freeze ray like a goofy-ass villain, but nothing is cooler than justice. When Cassius sees that steel beats ice, he runs and takes Miranda with him. But in the chaos of everything, Miranda would somehow miraculously escape and contact RoboCop over the phone to explain more of what happened. It turns out Miranda used to work for OCP with Bob Morton. For those who don't know, Bob is the executive brain behind the RoboCop project, and Miranda was the one who created the list of potential donors for the RoboCop project. Using this list, Bob, through the OCP's control over the police, would station cops in more dangerous areas, fully knowing and expecting, hoping that these officers would have an increased chance of dying, effectively speeding up the RoboCop program. Miranda had a direct hand in Murphy's death and the birth of RoboCop. In the end, she was just a broken woman, a victim who wanted justice, but without her there would be probably no RoboCop. However, when the reality and the weight of her guilt pressed down on her so much, she would cut ties with OCP. But she would still want her plans for a better and safer future to come to fruition, which is why she came to Graves, helped him get the OCP hijacker, and bring RoboCop to him. But along the way, she realized that RoboCop wasn't just a machine, he was still human too. With so much blood on her hands, now we understand why she changed her mind working with Cassius. But soon, RoboCop would enter a room and be frozen into unconsciousness, allowing Graves to capture him. Cassius, of course, monologues again and condemns Murphy for failing as a blade of justice, so now it is his turn. Moving forward, Graves and his men would leave to continue looking for Miranda, but that's when Miranda finds us. But not only does she find us, she uses the OCP hijacker to transfer our consciousness into an Ed-209, the giant beast of a robot, allowing us to clear a way out. After spraying man and machine alike with missiles and bullets, we smash through the wall back to RoboCop's body.
You have 15 seconds to vacate this area.
Let me take care of this.
You now have a nice day.
Chasing Graves down with our infinite bullets, he would try to stop our progress by cleansing innocent citizens within the tower. Releasing gas and sparking an explosion in the room, he incinerates everybody here, leaving only the Man of Steel to stand amongst the charred people. But this won't stop RoboCop, even if Cassius melts the entire building and everybody in it. Pressing on, eventually Miranda would be caught again, meaning Murphy would have to save her. However, when we get to her, it's too late.
You have to catch Graves.
Step back. I will break the glass.
He knows how you think, that you want to help me. He's buying time. It's no use. Murphy! I've heard you let some people call you that.
Son.
I wish I could have been one of them.
Miranda!
test object has no vital signs.
That is a cold way to go out. Honoring her sacrifice, RoboCop walks his way over to catch Cassius, and he tries unleashing a barrage of bullets into his back, but I guess those miss. He tries to escape on the helicopter, but RoboCop is gonna have Graves shitting his pants like he's in a horror movie. Holding the helicopter down with just one hand, Captain America would be impressed. Using his other hand, Murphy shoots the tail, causing it to spiral, not caring if it accidentally kills innocents below. But it crashes here, and Cassius hops out. When RoboCop goes in to arrest him, he threatens to kill everybody in the building.
I just wanted to fix things.
You have broken the law. You took the lives of civilians, including Miranda. Face the consequences.
Stay away! Stay away, you hear? One press of this button, and everyone in this building will burn. You saw how it works.
You will kill innocent people.
So don't make me do it!
I will not. Your fixing time is up.
If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy the next one as well. And if you haven't clicked off of this video yet, show me your real one by typing in the comments, creep.
Now there is trouble.